Hi, everyone. I'm Andrew Dart, again with another resident journey with one of our VIDA residents who lives at 8 Vimy Avenue in Halifax. Her name is Amanda Mccrae, and she's been nice enough to give us some time today for us to get to know her a little bit and learn about her experience thus far with VIDA. So, hi, Amanda, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Andrew.
So I guess my first question would be, how did you hear about VIDA?
So actually, I heard about VIDA from my old apartment building. I actually lived next door to 8 VIDA, where I knew the BA there. He actually knew about my situation, that I was trying to find a place, and knew that I was having a hard time on the internet getting kicked off of applying. So he actually provided me with a 2-bedroom at 8 VIDA and the BA there. So I contacted her.
Great. Awesome. Glad to hear. And you mentioned having difficulty online. I know it's a challenging landscape with the housing crisis and everything going on. It's harder and harder to find living, especially in Halifax. What would you say was different about your experience going through the application process at VIDA as opposed to other rental companies?
I just like the fact that VIDA actually asked you common questions. What would you do if you seen garbage laying on your floor? Would you pick it up? Would you walk away? Would you step on it? And it kind of just gave me a sense that VIDA looks for responsible people within their building. And it kind of gave me a security to having a son, that I knew that VIDA kind of looked more, not just on your personal background and your credit history, they looked at you as a person overall.
So happy you said that. It really, like, it seems like it's a unique approach, but it makes sense. Like we're trying to, create community at our properties. And, one of the key indicators is how people are going to react when they're faced with certain situations, and how they're going to, be a part of the community, get to know their neighbors, do the right thing, which I know, you being a superintendent before, all about it. You'd pick up that garbage and throw it out. I feel like that's what you probably would have said on your answer.
I
So
absolutely did. And it actually caught me off guard, because I was like, you know what? This is really unique, because some people don't take the time to read those questions. They just click whatever just to get through the application process. So it kind of narrows it down of who is actually paying attention. And if you're paying attention to those small questions, you're going to pay attention to what's happening in your building. It's your house, your home.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So, I mentioned briefly that you used to be a superintendent, and, I've got to know you briefly as we were setting up this meeting, and, hearing great things from your building ambassador, Annie. So I guess, I'd just like to learn a little bit about your story. What's unique about your story that led you here to us? And is there something, you could share with us about your story?
My story is kind of an everyday life story. I decided to get married. It decided to happen that it wasn't the right thing. We've stayed mutual friends. But in the situation, I just wanted to start over. I wanted my son to feel he had a home.
Great.
And one of the things that really took me to VIDA was when I seen that pets were allowed. I've had so much conflict with landlords or supers or just big companies saying, no, we don't accept children and we don't accept animals. I think everybody should be able to have a home. And, it kind of led me to you guys. And when I actually called Annie, she was amazing. I told her my story. The story started off with Nicole from the office. And it was really funny how fast they pushed it, which I was really surprised. You get judged as a single mom, right? I actually did have a company that did look at me and say, we don't take your kind here.
Seriously, wow.
And I wasn't sure of what that was meant. So I was like, okay, here we go. They look at your credit. Everybody has bad credit. If you have a student loan, you have bad credit, right?
I know about
It
that.
haunts you. But, being separated, trying to start over, it's a really hard process. And as soon as I spoke to Annie on the phone, I knew I wanted to be in that building. I really enjoyed her. I actually didn't meet her until 2 days prior to moving in. So I was going with her tone, her personality, her helpfulness. And I'm sure the girls at the office got annoyed because Carrie and me talked back and forth. I had everything right to a T when I walked in there. Nicole, I had all my paperwork for Nicole. So, it kind of led me here, and I needed to start somewhere where my kid felt safe and could be a kid. So knowing a family was allowed, and a family is a dog, a cat, a fish. Your children can be children, they throw tantrums, they have noise complaints, and I didn't want to have somebody knocking at my door all the time. And it just felt like VIDA kind of accepted you as you, and they are willing to grow with you.
Oh, that's amazing. I think that's such an incredible story. And we want families. We want people who are gonna, build a life for themselves. It's important for us to focus on helping people get ahead. And if we can provide a safe, clean, affordable place for them to live, and then, I think it's really important what you said, like families extend to animals. We have, universally across all our properties, you're allowed to have pets. And it's just like anything else, as long as you're, being respectful to your neighbors, then there's no reason why everyone shouldn't be able to have their full family living.
And how
in the
it was
community.
just so nice to hear that, because I was like, you know what, I'm not in a position to buy a house. So why can I still pay rent just like a mortgage, but I have all these rules to follow when I'm actually a respectful person, like you're judged very quickly through a lot of companies. And it was so nice when I sat down with Nicole in the office, and she's like, I will take this and, let everybody know what's going on in your life. And I said, just give me a house. I was willing to take a bachelor's apartment at one point.
Wow.
I was like, I'll take the bachelor's until something, comes up for a 2-bedroom. And it was amazing. Annie literally just jumped on board. She had the apartment ready. I met her 2 days prior, and it's like I've known her forever. She's very fun. My
Yeah.
son has taken to her, which is a great thing for me, especially living in a building. I just feel that if he had a problem or something did happen, he could run to her or anybody. I've met a few people in the building, and they're wonderful.
Oh, it's amazing. It gets me excited hearing this. It's motivating. It makes me want to find, more ways for VIDA to make impact in people's lives. So that's incredible. One thing we always, we want to learn and grow, and we want to listen to our residents. So, we're always asking, how can we help? Is there something we can do, change, adjust? We're willing to, relentlessly improve. It's actually written into our core values, and it's something that we pride ourselves on. So I guess I'd ask, if you had a magic wand, and there's no bad answers here, and you could change anything at all about VIDA, what would it be?
The communication, just
Okay.
not for people applying, but also their BAs.
Yep.
I know as a previous step-in super, you get pushed to the side sometimes, just the communication alone would be amazing. I never seen my apartment until 2 days prior because of the work being done on it, but they knew I was willing to take it regardless. But the communication, everything is done through email and text. And I'm a person that when I want to talk to somebody, I want to be face to face with you, because judgment is still out there as a stigma. So I want to meet you in person. I want you to meet me in person and realize, like, I'm young, I'm a single mom, but I'm not carrying that stigma that is behind a lot of it, right?
Yeah.
And it would be like nice to communicate one-on-one with somebody. That's why I physically went to the office. I wanted to
Sure.
sit down and be like, here's my paperwork. I have everything for you. This is my story. Everybody has a story, but like, I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to, compromise and everything. And even with the BAs, like, I know there's thousands of them out there doing their jobs, but it would be nice for them to be communicated to of, hey, listen, this is taking place this weekend, or something going on with a tenant that, maybe they need to be aware of. Because I've said that a couple of times to Annie, like, it'd be nice for you to know more about my story. Not that it's anything to do with my story, but if somebody from the company did show up, I wouldn't know who they were, because
No,
I've never met them.
no, it's a great point. And I think it's something, we're continuously trying to improve, and like you said, a lot of the technology, communicate through, whether it's email, text, phone call, but I think it's right. I think, we can continuously improve, and get out. And I think that happens through, community events, actually getting to each building, which is something we've tried to do, but I think we can do a better job of. Absolutely. And, put faces to names, get out there, meet more people across different buildings. So no, I appreciate that. And I think that's one that we might not actually need a magic wand for. I think we can actually achieve that regardless. So no, that's great feedback. Appreciate it. Um, and look, I know you've got a busy day, so I guess I just want to close with one question. If you could say something to a potential VIDA applicant, somebody that's looking to live at VIDA, what would you tell them?
Be patient. It will happen.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks so much, Amanda. I really appreciate it. And
Thanks,
look,
Andrew.
we're excited to hear about all the positive stuff that you had experienced with Annie. It sounds like it's been a great experience for you thus far, and we're going to continue to make sure it's positive. So thanks so much for being here.
No, thank you, Andrew. It's been great.
Awesome.